What's up, y'all? I'm Tari Henson.
And I'm DARRIN Henson, and you're watching and listening to the In the Groove podcast. Today we have a very, very special show for you. We have somebody in the Groove studio that you know and that you love. She has hit after hit after hit. We're going to be talking to her today about life, about music, about production, about where she is now, what she is doing currently, what she has done, and the number one reason, the why behind it all. In studio today, we have Miss Karyn White.
Hey, I'm so glad to be here. Hey, beautiful.
Wow. So NAACP Image Award winner, 2-time Grammy nominee, and businesswoman, living icon. I'm so excited that you're here today.
Aw, thank you. Look, I just got a soul music icon. This was this year.
Oh, so, that's beautiful. That's 2023 current.
Yes, 2020. What were we in 2022?
Today, well, I'm saying 2023 because we're only a month away. So that translates to 2023 for me.
That was beautiful. But yes, I'm so glad to be here.
Karyn, I got to say this because we've been bumping into each other like
I know,
all month.
like 3 times.
Right?
3
times all month. Once in Chicago, Atlanta, and we had to do this. It's been a really long time coming. And this is what I got to tell you because I got to jump it off like this. You are the reason I wanted to learn chess.
Why?
Is that strange?
Yeah.
Why?
Black and white, secret rendezvous.
You were so funny.
Black and white, secret rendezvous. And it's a true story. I literally wanted to learn chess because of that.
Wow.
I mean, that video alone, first of all, it set me off. It's one of my favorites. And you know the dancer in me is speaking loud and clear.
Oh, my God. Yes, the dancer in you.
The dancer in me is
was
speaking
fun.
loud and clear. And look, I don't know if people know how much you love dance.
Oh, yeah.
You love dance.
I know, I love it. Of course, my sister was a choreographer, and I just I didn't have the flexibility. So I would take classes, but it was just like, that was discouraging that I couldn't be flexible.
Well, what type of dance were you interested in?
Well, jazz, and like, not
ballet,
a
tap.
little bit of, more tap, a little bit of, but more jazz, you know what I'm saying? So, we were at the Ebony Showcase Theater, which was a CETA program that were for underprivileged kids.
And this is in California.
Yeah, California. And we made like $400 a month. Isn't that amazing to do what you love to do? Sing, dance, acting, modeling. And so, so my sister was the choreographer. And so I just had the feel, you know what I mean?
You got so much
you
spirit
got it in your
soul.
heart.
Thank you. And Sean Earl was my best friend.
Oh, yeah, Sean.
So you already know. That's who I grew
Dancer
up with.
extraordinaire, Mr. Fame himself.
Yes.
Sean is incredible.
Yes, he is. And so we would all have our, our little moments of, routines. And so I was a cheerleader. And so I love dance. And more so than that, I love being funky.
And your head swings was amazing. Your head whips. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And look, and I know we're going back just a little bit, but when it comes to dancing choreography, it doesn't matter. Your Running Man was out of this world. And no, I can say that. That's real. Because, people talk about stuff. But, and I keep it real. When it comes to dance, people ask me if I can get down. And I still get down. And so can you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just in you. You're soulful and you're funky. And I had to tell you that. Secret Rendezvous still is one of my favorite songs. It's one of my favorite videos. And you made me want to learn chess.
Oh, okay, get that.
Factory.
Okay. Why didn't we ever work together?
Look, at that time, I was just getting my feet wet. Look, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later.
Let's talk about it.
But during the Bobby Brown era, during that time, I saw you in Japan. We just talked about this. I saw you in Japan. I'm not going to say how old I was because it doesn't matter. But I was literally I just started showing the world. I started kind of letting the world know that I was coming at that time. I was coming. I was getting ready. And your music was a part of that. Working with LaFace, working. I mean, come on. It was just like, it set a precipice in my life as a dancer, as somebody who sought out soulful music at that time.
that was, oh my God. Don't you miss those days?
I talk about it every day. And then you were on tour a lot.
Yeah.
With Bobby.
Yeah, we toured for 2 years.
The
together.
king of R&B.
I know. So you had me going on stage, lighting it up. Just, and then you had LeVert in the middle, and then Bobby would come and just, you know how incredible he was.
Of course,
so it was, that was definitely an epic time. And like I said, 2 years.
Don't you miss that?
Heck yeah.
No, shit. We can say that on this show. Look,
man. Yeah.
Look. We curse on this show because sometimes you gotta come across with a certain adage to allow people to know what we're talking about and why. Like today, Marvin Sapp was actually talking about he feels that secular music or secular artists, shouldn't be able to come over and cross with gospel music and be nominated for gospel awards. I'm like, well, if you did some gospel music and it's turning people on and it's bringing people closer to God or a deeper understanding, why shouldn't they be nominated?
Right. I wonder why he thinks that. He just thinks that it's not authentic
Well, as a queen, as an R&B artist, what do you think about that? Should secular people be able to come? Secular artists, right? Secular people.
Yes, because
we're going to talk about that, right, Tari?
Well, first of all, let's break down secular and when they're doing music, because I don't really. Are you looking at the people? Or are you looking at the music?
The music. That's what I'm
saying. That's
judging. Really what it's about.
Yeah. So if I'm going to look at you and say you're not Christian enough, who am I to judge that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then you would even have to look at artists who, were R&B artists, country artists, soul artists who actually did gospel albums like Aretha Franklin.
Oh yeah.
You can't judge someone simply off of that. It's really about the music.
Yeah. And who is to say that they're, like I said, if their heart is in for gospel music, then so I disagree with him, but it's all like you said, it doesn't matter where it comes from if your heart is right and your intentions are right.
That's right.
So, but I can understand if he's saying like this person is talking,
yeah, but they might not
crazy.
be. Yeah, they might not be
saying like the city girls.
Right.
I know Atari has a lot of questions to ask you, but there's something that I really want to know from you, because I'm sure you get asked every question when it comes to music, and I want to know, who does Karyn White love listening to, and who musically, vocally inspired Karyn White?
Oh man. Okay. First I'm going to start with who vocally inspired me. Different phases. I didn't really want to listen to women because I didn't want to sound like them.
That's powerful.
So I really tried to listen to more male vocalists. So, the Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Prince, of course. Marvin, Luther. So you'll hear a lot of that. It depends on which album. I remember Men Condition was my band when I lived in Minnesota. When I had the Romantic album, and I was doing my Luther thing. So and then of course like now,
very soulful.
Yeah, very soulful. And just real tasty. Just it's just different phases.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
And then like when I was with James Brown.
Talk about it.
Wait a minute. First
talk
of all,
about it.
So now you'll get,
talk
if you
about
come
it.
to see me now, you'll feel like you're watching James, because the rawness.
I saw it the other day.
Oh, you did?
In Chicago.
I didn't know you
saw you in Chicago.
Oh yeah, so it's like.
I mean, I get it. I watched James in Hawaii in 2001 at the Hawaiian Hilton Hotel in Honolulu.
Wow. Oh
James
in 2001.
In 2001.
Okay. So
James had his back to the audience 50% of the time because he was orchestrating and directing the band. And still today when I practice, because I still do, I start off with James Brown. I mean, you don't get no funkier than James.
And that's the DNA of all those great artists. So I may as well say James, right? Because Prince and Michael.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Okay, young Tina. Oh. Did you?
Oh my goodness.
Her footwork.
The power.
She was doing the James with her footwork.
Yes.
So I was like, oh my God. So that's who, if you're going to see me on stage, I'm going to be pulling from really
because
gems.
the greats pull from the greats, and iron sharpens iron. Now, to me, that's a bit of trivia I don't think a lot of people knew about, but I understand it. I get it.
Yep.
We pull from the greats.
Yeah, we do. And and I love it because it's so I'm kind of like what would I call it? What's the word when you don't really see a person? No, a person they don't know. I'm kind of like a silent assassin.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because really,
you
they
pull
don't know
on,
what to expect. Everybody's thinking Superwoman because it's been a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So when they see me up on the stage and it's like,
they don't.
So
they,
energetic and soulful.
I was like,
when
no,
you
that wasn't
perform.
my band. But I take over.
You take over.
You
Your
see?
power is incredible, and this is the essence of who you are. So you asked me a question earlier. So you mentioned Mint Condition. It was always in my desire to work with Mint Condition. I got the opportunity to work for Stokely on his solo album. I choreographed a video called Levels.
Yeah, Levels.
I choreographed the video.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So watch this. Now, I wanted to work with you back in the days. I wanted to work with Bobby, but clearly, again, just coming up, right? I was working with the SWVs. I was doing the Color Me Bads. I was doing the High Fives. But I didn't get an opportunity to work with you. But guess what? It's in the works. It's still coming.
Oh, I know.
It's in the works.
And it's going to be better.
It's in the works.
What I'm saying? I know. I love it. I love it.
The we that we are now,
I know,
is incredible.
And that's what I'm trying to tell people. I'm just so thankful and grateful that we can do it and we just have that appreciation for it. First of all, that we get to do this. It's like, what a blessing.
Yeah.
So like, how dare I try to be sad about anything? I'm like, I get to do this. So that's what I,
love.
and on a high level. So I'm just like I said, I'm just grateful.
Come as you are, but don't stay as you are. And keep creating.
And keep growing.
Keep growing.
I think what's so inspiring for me about you is that not only are you doing music, at such a high level and you enjoy that, but you're also a mom, you're a businesswoman, you have your own foundation, you have your own business. How do you handle all of that?
Wow. Okay, well, let me say this. Okay. And you guys know this too. I didn't realize this, but once you break into this, entertainment industry, and you're a part of that 1%, which we are.
Yes.
You figure like, if I could do that, I can do anything.
You can take over the world.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I stepped back from the music industry, and I didn't think I was going to be not performing and getting back for 17 years, but I stepped back, and then I realized it was in me all along, like Dorothy, because I was like, I started anything, I knew anything I wanted to do. I had such a focus, and I know that that's what it takes to be in this business. You have to really have like myopic. I don't care. I'm not looking to the left.
Follow one course
this
until
is what we're gonna
successful.
do.
Beating myself.
Yeah.
I'm competing against me because
Yes.
if you look to it's scary. You know what I mean? Because you're like, I'm not that.
Yeah.
But you just have to be you and be the best versions of it.
right.
So
You have to keep competing against yourself and leveling up.
So once I realized that, I realized I started to do real estate and do interior design.
Interior design, was that something that you were always interested in?
Yeah, I'm a Libra. I love beautiful things.
I'm an Aquarius.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Oh, yes, smart girl. Yeah, I know. I hate to say that, but some people don't believe in signs. But some of it is a lot.
Right? They're fun.
It's
They're fun.
astrology, study of the stars.
Study the stars. So then Terry and I was married to Terry Lewis, the legendary, iconic Terry Lewis, and we built a home. And
Kudos to them that just got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, yes, they sure did. Congratulations. So we built this home, and so this is me. And this is another thing. You got to know when to shut up when you're in the presence of greatness. I'm serious. Some people don't know. They just want to get so much attention or think that they know everything. One of my best skills, too, was knowing that I was in the presence of greatness. So sometimes I would sit back, be in the studio with them, and then with Jam and Lewis, and also with LA and Face. I just knew I would just be in the studio. What are you doing? I'm just coming to see y'all.
Learning, absorbing.
Student. Yes, student of the game. Jeff Lorber.
That's right.
Starting out with jazz and Jay Cause and so I would really say that's the same thing that I did when we built this house. We built this beautiful 18,000 square foot home. Best designers, best interior designers, architects, and so I didn't know that I was going to get a divorce 2 years later. So I wound up saying, well, what am I going to do? I didn't really want to be on the road because my daughter was 3 years old, and it was a tough time.
So you're kind of in transition.
Yeah, I was in transition. In Minnesota, I kind of lost my way because it was I call it the house that Janet built. I mean, it was like...
No, we get it because that was at the control time. That was all that time, and it was a lot of...
Yeah, a lot of artists there.
A lot of artists there all the time.
Yeah, and so just, I didn't really... I was like, how do I do this? So I didn't feel like I wanted to... I wasn't inspired musically yet, so I stepped away and I said, what can I do? I only have a 12th grade education. I don't, I wouldn't really consider myself book smart, you know what I mean? But I realized
you were
something.
Life smart. You had experience,
but I didn't
and you
know
knew that you
though.
just needed a goal that you could accomplish.
Yep, and then I realized, I was like, wow, I guess whatever I put my mind to, I could be successful at it because I work hard. I mean, I really people trust me. It's kind of scary. I'm like,
no, you have a hyper drive and a focus.
Like,
we say follow one course until successful.
Yeah.
And what you've been able to successfully do is tie all of those things together and redistribute them. And when you redistribute them, I think the spirit of what you do and how you do it is so palpable because there's no time lost. When you're on stage, people feel like, oh my God. First of all, they didn't expect to have that energy in front of them. They didn't expect for you to sound. I mean, look, Karyn, we got to keep it real. There are a lot of people who need to go back to vocal class. There are a lot of people who need to.
I train.
Still, this is what I'm saying. This is why we say you're a real musician. This is why we say you're a true vocalist. This is why we say that you're a real artist. There's a difference. You stand the test of time and the diversity that comes from within you shows the student that you have been. The student. And that's the difference between the 1% and the rest.
And the ability to really reinvent yourself and continue to grow in this industry.
Woo, girl. During them 17 years, it was some tough times.
So I did happen to read an article, and I'm paraphrasing this quote, but I think it's important to bring up because, you are a woman, you are a mom. And there was a quote that said that after your daughter was born, you felt like you lost some confidence, like you were second guessing yourself. What was that during your transition time when you were looking at your options as far as being a mom and possibly singing? Yes,
I just felt I lost my way. That's all I knew how to do was music. And I, you know how it's like you're running and running. Remember how Forrest Gump stopped and he said, what did he say?
I'm done running.
I'm done. Yeah. That's what happened. I was like, I just needed a break. You know what I mean? Because I knew as a child. So it was like, that's all I wanted to do. So my whole life. So when I saw that I wasn't successful in my personal life, it hurt. I was like, this is not happiness. It's like, okay, you have wealth, you have success, but what does it cost you? You know what I mean? So I just really, when I say that, I was, really just talking about losing my way, stepping back, and just really realigning myself with my faith again. Yeah. Because I had so much faith. Oh my God, I'm telling you guys. Woo! I used to go to what's his name, Fred Price.
Oh, Fred Price.
And he was the faith. Yeah, he was. Everything was faith. Yep. We walk by faith and not by sight. And I really, that was my life. And I believed it and I lived it. And it's so something how when you get it, how do you lose the faith when you get it?
Do you let me ask you that. I love that you pressed upon that because I think that's something that a lot of the listeners want to hear and to understand. One of the things that we talk about is there's understanding, then there's overstanding, and then there's innerstanding. So you understand to get to a perspective of overstanding. When you're over it, you can see. You don't have to run around anymore. But when you understand, you're beneath it. You can't. It's like stopping at a traffic signal. It might be a crash ahead, but you don't know it until you get to it. But when you overstand it, you can see the congestion. And when you understand it, you know not to go that route anyway.
I
right?
Love it.
And so let me ask you about this. When you talk about faith, do you believe that there's a difference between having faith, believing, and then getting to a point of knowing? Because beliefs change all the time.
Yes.
They do.
But when you know,
Yeah, you know her.
that changes things and allows it to manifest in the physical world. The same way that you believed you could, so you did.
Okay.
And then once you did, there's another level, and there's always a new devil.
Exactly.
And unless we prepare for that level of devil, we're back in a state of going, what do we do?
That was it. New levels, new devils. And that was exactly
Right?
what it
And
was.
that's what you got introduced to, because there are many.
Yeah.
There are many.
So speaking of losing the faith, because I can understand that you go, you have all these goals, and then one day you look up and you're like, I'm just not passionate about what I used to be passionate about. I'm not feeling creative. I don't feel the happiness in the things that I used to. So it's like, where do you go? How did you find your way into your new passions and your new desires as far as you in your life?
Right. And also my mother was passing at the same time. But it's something I would listen to Joyce Myers at the time. You know how there's
Powerful.
different levels.
Yes.
But I really, I remember listening to her, and I just felt like we really had a lot in common. And so I just knew when to get quiet. That's so smart.
To go inside.
Yeah, to
to
go inside.
just listen for the answer.
You know, I cut up for a little while. You know.
Well, we always do.
Yeah, right. I cut up for a little while.
We always do.
Well, you know, you're human.
Yeah, but then I was like, you know, this is whack. This is, you know what I mean? I knew I didn't feel good in that person. And I you know, my faith, I knew that I was just like, Lord, you know, what do you want me to do? Because obviously I'm not. I'm not doing.
We do those things
Yeah.
seeking fulfillment, and it just makes us a lot more empty.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's what we do. I think, you know, there's a saying, each one teach one, we can reach one. It's an old adage that, and we've all heard this before. It says that a fool learns from his own mistakes, but it takes a wise man or a woman to learn from the mistakes of others, right? But the thing is, there's something about human nature that says to us, I want to experience. I want to know for myself. So it puts us in those positions because a lot of times we think, I can overcome that. I can get past that. No, you can't get past universal law, cause and effect. You're going to meet it each and every time. And those are the things. But at the same time, they assist us to learn what we need to know so we can live in our now.
And I say that, and I totally agree with you, because had I not walked away, I'm just trying to tell you everything happened for me very fast.
Yes.
And very big.
Of course.
It was a big lifestyle. And so I kind of lost touch with just like kind of reality, you know what I mean? And just not so much, I wouldn't say I was just, I was a little naive. And so to really be away and then just like redevelop who I am as a person, not caring if I'm famous or not. Because I was telling someone, I said,
because you already were.
Yeah, I didn't care if you knew me. If you knew me, you knew me. If you didn't, who cared? That wasn't my value.
Right.
Because I had friends that were very famous and they didn't have hits, and they were introverts, and they would, you know, they just kind of lost their whole self. And I was like, I don't want to be that.
And you were rediscovering who Karyn
and
was.
she's bigger than a song or
That's
hits.
right.
I don't want to be defined by that.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that now I'm not.
Yeah.
So it's so weird because I'll hear how these artists are and they can't help it, but I just be like,
They're
not.
living for everybody
they're
else.
living. I'll be like, girl, calm down. Like, who cares?
That's
and
right.
it's just it's so liberating to have 17 years.
Yeah.
Which is a long time, you guys.
Yes, it
17
is.
years away.
Yeah.
But to grow as a woman
And to come back just as
And as
strong.
a person.
As a person.
'Cause that's what's so important, I think, for especially the
Yes.
listeners to understand, is that it's okay. You will naturally go through these things in
I
life,
know.
but it's how you respond. Do you continue? Do you keep going? Do you keep looking and seeking the answer, seeking what's going to level up?
Right.
And to know that you've gone through that and you say, it's just another level. It's just another
it's just
phase,
another
and you can come out on the other side and almost kind of laugh at that.
I do, and I feel, and this is the greatest word. I love my girlfriends. Like, God has preserved you, and He really has. And I'm just, And when I get on that stage, because I'll start, if you were there, my ministry will kick in. I'll start.
Can't help it. It's in you.
Keith was like, you too honest.
shout out to Keith Washington. That's my man.
Like, you so honest? I was like, I have to be because especially
you're real.
I'm the superwoman and women are looking up to me. And I have to say, no. I keep reaching, keep stretching, keep growing. I was only 23 singing a song that was way ahead of me.
That's right.
And I'm thankful that LA and Face and Daryl Simmons kind of saw that in me because everybody wanted to work with them. You know that. Of course. It's like, so for them to see that this is her song. And, I always get asked this question because, there's so many people singing the song. How do you feel about it? And maybe if I was younger and hadn't had the maturity, I was like, it's a blessing. It's like,
it really is.
You gave it to the world.
It's the homage to you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But I think the people that look at it the other way, it's their spirit. It's a spiritual way.
It's whatever they're
right, because they're looking
their
at
perception.
it like, how could they?
Yeah.
Why weren't you there? I was
it's their perception. I was like, and it's small thinking.
I said, I'm happy. I said, do you know Jennifer Hudson?
She
That's
sang
right.
was
it.
singing this song.
That's
just to hear her doing it, because I'm
right.
such a, come on.
That means how much she loves
done.
and what she's done.
Yeah.
So to have her do it, she could have done anything.
And out
That's
of all
honor.
the songs, so I don't look at it as a negative. But I did tell him it was a negative when Fantasia did it in the Soul Train.
I was going to ask you about that because I know you said that no one contacted you about that for the Babyface tribute, correct?
The tribute, right? But this person wound up getting the backstory, so they wound up getting fired because that was a huge.
Yeah, that's a no-no. That was a no-no.
And what they were doing was, it's like we want the popular, but sometimes you can't go with the popular.
No-no.
And the world said, "How dare you rob us of our childhood, our memories?"
Not new school, true school.
Right.
There's a difference.
And so she was thinking, we want to go with the popular one.
That kind of reminds me of when Beyonce sang Etta James's song at oh my goodness.
Okay, so tell me.
Well, at the Barack Obama, the inauguration,
okay,
she sang Etta James' song
at last. Uh-huh.
I mean, she was in the movie. She did Cadillac Records.
Mm-hmm.
But, to me, it reminded me of that because it was like, why not have the original sing her song for such a momentous event?
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
But that I can understand what you're saying. I guess some people, and Etta was still alive, right? Gotcha. Yeah. They probably should have had her come out and get it together.
Maybe someone got fired for that one too. I don't know.
Let me take it here because we're running out of time. I want to talk about your acting because Gale in the Storm. Right?
Yeah.
Now you might not want to talk about that, but I think.
No, I do.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Gale in the Storm. Okay, it put you in a position for people to see you on the other side, and I want to talk about that because I need you on that side now. Because of the producing and the directing that I'm doing, and so I want to talk about if you still have that desire and that hunger to tell stories through the medium of another character's life.
Oh, heck yeah. Gale in the Storm, you guys. It's a film that we wrote and co-produced, and it was loosely based on my life. It was about an artist who stepped away at the height of her career, and she hooks up with a revolutionary music producer, and he tries to get her to get back into singing. I ain't gonna tell y'all if she got back. Y'all gotta watch it. But and it was a dope soundtrack. We kind of borrowed from the 70s.
It's an amazing film.
It was so fun. Because I got to all those people, Parliament, Rick James, Tina Turner, Tina Marie, Shaka.
Wow.
I mean, this was the Al Green. So I had some of that gumbo going on.
Just
on
a gumbo of amazing artists. Oh my God. Just amazing artists.
It was so fun just to be funky and to just, so it was fun to be a character. And it was.
But are you ready to? Right. Are you ready to get on screen again?
Oh, of course. I'm a ham.
Let's do it.
Come on, I love it. That's what we do. But I was going to say this: we used 2 college students from Morehouse. Mm-hmm. Shout out to my partner Derek Muhammad too, in here who's like,
my man D.
Yeah, we did it on a shoestring budget, and that's another thing. I'm like, damn, we did a dang on movie. You have artists. You have actors that have never done that. I'm like, why don't they do it more?
Yeah. I think a lot of people are waiting for other people to do things they can do for themselves. I don't know because I've never done that.
I know you haven't. That's why it's so much respect.
Yeah.
When I put his hashtag, I'm putting producer. There's I'm not waiting on nobody.
Never. Listen,
You know?
I want to do this, and we're going to bring you back here. Please tell people where they can find you.
Yes, okay. Follow me on Karyn White Official, and that's Karyn White, not White Karen. Karyn. I'm being funny. Karyn White Official on IG, Facebook, and Twitter.
We love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here, and shout out to your Karyn White Foundation that helps entrepreneurs.
Oh, I know. Yes, and go to the Karyn White Foundation, because I'm going to be doing more, and I gave away grants during COVID. The KarynWhiteFoundation.com.
You do so much.
Awesome.
So many.
It was a pleasure meeting you. I'm Tari Henson.
And I'm Darren DeWitt Henson, and you've been grooved.